Welcome to Spiritual Steps, a podcast about learning to pray, listen, and grow by taking small steps on the spiritual journey. I'm your host, Stephen Hovatter, and this is episode 37, A Fully Grateful Moment. In this episode, I want to share a simple exercise for practicing gratitude. We want to mindfully experience a fully grateful moment. Now, in reality, we want to live in perpetual gratitude, with gratitude shaping the way that we do everything, from opening our eyes in the morning to laying our heads down to sleep at night. I want to be a person who eats and works, plays, talks, sings, laughs, weeps, rests, all out of gratitude. I want to be a person who goes to the grocery store with gratitude in my heart, who drives down the road with gratitude in my heart. I want it to be everywhere that I am. I want to be a person from whom gratitude flows, whether I'm in a meeting with my colleagues at work or playing with my family in the backyard or just chilling out with my friends. I want it to be everywhere. So I want to stretch out the breadth of my gratitude so that it is a part of every facet of my life. But I also want to deepen the grateful places of my heart so that my thankfulness isn't simply a matter of the surface. I want to go beyond just polite gratitude, okay? Never less than that, but I want to be more than that. I want it to come from my soul, from the fullness of who I am. I want to steep myself so thoroughly in gratitude that it forms the most basic parts of who I am, like the deep foundation set beneath a city's skyscrapers, or like the deep roots that stretch down into the earth from beneath a skyward stretching tree. I need practices of vigilant gratitude that take it everywhere and always, but also of full gratitude, of whole gratitude, of deep gratitude, the kind of practices that deepen my reservoir of gratitude in my heart. And what I want to share in this episode is a practice in that latter direction, a deepening exercise of gratitude. I call it a fully grateful moment. And this is a meditative prayer practice. So begin by setting yourself into a comfortable position. Nothing fancy is necessary. And by the way, I'm just going to kind of go over this. I'm not expecting you to do it while you listen. It's simple enough to remember. You can do it after you listen to the episode. But start by getting yourself into like a posture of meditative prayer. Okay, and nothing really fancy. Just pay attention that you're in a posture that allows your body to relax without straining any particular place. Just be comfortable and take a few deep breaths. Breathe in and breathe out, and let your mind settle into the moment. If there's other tasks or worries or ideas or anxieties that come into your mind, just acknowledge them in passing, but don't follow them. Let them go. They'll come back later when you're done. Let it go for now, and just come to rest. And just take some deep breaths and let that process of centering yourself into the moment, let that work for a moment or two. And then consciously pray the simple prayer, thank you. And if you'd like, just continue breathing a few more moments and praying that prayer. And being attentive to that prayer, thank you. And when you've done that, you're kind of resting in that space, then here's what I want you to do. Let your mind go to a moment in the past few days and try to remember it as fully as you can. Remember as much about that moment as you can. And as you call to mind each facet, just repeat that phrase, thank you. Let yourself have a place of gratitude for that particular part of that moment. So remember the physical space, textures, and the experiences of your senses, or, whatever you can in that way. If it's a meal, remember like what different things tasted like, what the colors were, or if it's just a space, maybe you can remember like, the kinds of things that your hands were touching, or what light was doing in that space, and just try to call your mind to all those experiences as well as you can. Remember the people that are present, that were present then, and that the words were spoken, or maybe things that went unspoken, you kind of sensed a little bit. Think about the gestures and faces, kind of nonverbal stuff that was happening between people. What you know of people's hearts and their characters and the key relationships of their lives, like outside of that moment, what brought them to that moment. And just mull over as much as you can remember about the moment itself. And then at each point, utter thanks and just say, thank you for each piece of it. Now, there may be times where you have to coax your heart into that. And in some severe places, you simply won't be able to do that yet. And it's fine to acknowledge that in prayer too. It's fine to acknowledge the places that you have a hard time going in gratitude. But just keep pressing deeper and deeper and deeper into the gratitude of the moment. And then after that, let your mind move towards a moment that you're anticipating. Okay, something coming up in the near future, in the next few days. How fully can you imagine that moment? And can you prepare yourself to be gratefully present there? I mean, if it's got a space already attached to it, like you're going to be gathering with a few people in a certain space, then think about that. If it's think about the people, think about the space. Think about whatever you can, and imagine it as fully in the same way as you did in the moment in the past. Try to imagine as fully as you can in an anticipatory way. What it will be like to be grateful in that time, and let your heart be grateful for it now in the meditation itself. Be grateful for what will happen. Okay, imagine yourself towards gratitude. All right, it's kind of what we're doing in that future one, and just keep pressing deeper. And as you do that, you continue saying thank you, or maybe instead you say, let me be thankful. Let me be thankful. Let me be thankful. Just keep press deeper and deeper. And then finally, return to the present moment and allow your mind to soak up what is happening right now in that meditative space. And let yourself be aware of your body. Let yourself be aware of the space and of people that you love that are near or far, that have been part of that day. Broaden your attention, okay? Think about not just the space like the room you're in, but what's in the space close to that. What's near to there, okay? Broaden it and broaden it and broaden it. And as you broaden your attention, do the same thing. You utter and acknowledge your thankfulness, and move towards acknowledging not just your thankfulness for each piece, but as you move towards the end of the meditation, what you want to do is just let yourself be thankful for all of it together. And when I say that, I mean like all of it in the now, all of it in the past, all of it in the future. Just try to have this is it, right? We want to kind of move towards having a fully grateful moment in that space. Okay, so simply breathe. When you come to there, just be and say thank you for the fullness of it, for the wholeness of the now, for that moment, and be still and be present, and just breathe for a few more moments, and then be done. So this is a very simple exercise, really. It's nothing particularly fancy to it, and also, too, might add that it's the sort of thing that can be easily translated to a group, so you may want to share it in that way with a group, like if you're in a small group, or if you're, work with a church, or have some opportunity to lead prayer. I mean, this is a really simple exercise. All you got to do is have a moment where you settle into the present, reflect on it in gratitude, reflect on a moment in the past in gratitude, a moment in the future, and then return to the present. It's a very simple motion. It's really easy to do. But over time, this is the kind of practice that if you can exercise it, it can allow you to kind of have a sense of the fullness of not just those moments of meditation, but really every moment, okay? And that's what we want to do. We want to keep deepening our experience of every now so that we are just deepening our well of gratitude that we're living out of, okay? All right, well, I hope that's useful to you. And that's it for this episode. So thanks for listening. If you have any comments or questions, or if you want to just extend the conversation, then you can reach out on Twitter. My username is @StephenHovatter, on Facebook too. And if this is the sort of thing that is useful to you, then go ahead and subscribe in whatever podcasting app you love. And we'll be back soon with a new episode. Until then, just keep taking the next step that you see in front of you. And may God be with you on each step of your journey. Peace.